Good morning. Welcome to Akwaaba Yoga today, Sunday, August the 16th. It's great to have everyone with us. Today, we're going to be doing some balancing poses. Anyone who's not joined before, my name's Mark, and we're up to people tuning in and coming in the comments. It should be a good session today. We're going to do a nice note at the beginning. The balancing will test our core. It might even test our frustrations a bit as we fall out of stuff. So definitely have a block or a thick book handy. If you've got any sort of morning gown belt or even a towel, that would be useful as well. We'll be trying out dancer's pose later on. But yeah, it started off there with the sounds of Sunburst Band. I feel quite chilled and mellow today. That's going to be the tone of my day today. Chilled and mellow. But yeah, don't forget your water. And let's start nice and chilled by coming into child's pose. Let's come into the knees. So let's go knees apart, feet together. Just come down towards your heels. Your bum might not touch your heels. And slowly start to walk your hands forward as we first come into child's pose. So bring your forehead as close as you can to the mat. It might be more preferable for you to rest your forehead on a block. As you start to just slow the breath down, slow the heart down, and start to come to our ujjayi breath, our ujjayi breathing. So that's inhaling in through the nose, bring a slight restriction to the back of the throat, and breathing out through the nose. So together, let's inhale and exhale through the nose. Another deep inhale in. Feel your ribs expanding and release the air back through the nose. And again, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's just keep that breath going. Let's keep going at your own pace. Inhaling in through the nose, exhaling through the nose. So let the shoulders be nice and relaxed. Just try not to pinch up at the shoulders. Just let them fall away from the ears. Feel yourself just sitting a bit further into your hips. And just feel nice and supported by the ground here. Deep inhale in and exhale through the nose. On your next breath in, let's start to come up onto our knees and our hands as we take tabletop position. Just going to come into some cat and cows and bring some movement to the back. So your knees are stacked underneath your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders. So start to just barrel the belly down. Take our gaze up to the front diagonal. Inhale in. And on the exhale, push into the mat. And curl the back. With space in between shoulder blades as you come to your angry cat pose. And let's reverse it. Inhale to draw up. Undulate the belly down. And on the exhale, draw your belly in. And curl your back as you come to your angry cat. Let's take one more together. Let's draw the shoulders in. Let's take your gaze up. Exhale, bring your shoulders apart. Create space between shoulder blades. Take your gaze to your navel. And for the next breath, let's just come into our own freestyle. So just freely move your body as you find yourself coming into your different nooks and crannies. You might be a bit tight this morning. Particularly if you've been out cycling during the week or been doing your runs. If you're sitting down at your desk or on your sofa. Just find movement as we all take a freestyle. There's no guidance, just feel into your body. Maybe take your hips through a figure of 8. Maybe wind up the shoulder on one side. And then just take the other side as well. Again, just take whatever feels right for you. Just really take responsibility for your practice. Just come back into stillness. Come back into a tabletop. Let's take one more cat and cow. So on the inhale, again, bow roll the belly down. Take the gaze up to the front diagonal. And exhale, push your hands into your mat. Draw your shoulder blades away as you lift your belly button. Let's start to curl the toes under and push up as we come into our first downward facing dog. So you're taking your inverted V. You're energetically, as you know, drawing your heels down towards the mat. Your hands and your feet are both hip distance apart. You're just trying to find some space in your spine. So roll your shoulders away from your ears. And that helps create a bit more length in your back. Maybe just walk out your legs. As you find a space in your calves and your hamstrings. Maybe shake the head from left to right, nod it up and down. On the next breath, let's all start to walk towards the front of the mat. So walk your hands towards your feet, keep your head heavy, keep your arms heavy. As we take forward folds just at the front, just give into gravity here. Maybe bring a slight bend into your knees. Start to sway from left to right. Maybe take opposite hands to opposite elbows. Take an inhale in through the nose and exhale through the nose. Really try and maintain your ujjayi breath. Let's drop the hands slowly. Let's start to roll up one vertebra at a time. Keeping your head and your arms heavy. Just roll up. Slowly. When you get to the top, just draw your shoulders back and bring your head up last. Stand into the center of your mat and just place your hands to your chest. Take a deep inhale in as you close your eyes and exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale in and exhale through the mouth again. Go for one more. Inhale in and let it all out. Wishing you all a great class, and again, just embrace any wobbles, any shakes, as we go through various balancing postures. So just come to the front of the mat. Just bring your feet together, your hands back to the center of the chest. Take a deep inhale in, so take your hands all the way up. And on the exhale, bend from the hips as you come all the way down to Uttanasana. Let's take our hands to our shins and take a halfway lift. Looking at the arms and take the gaze just beyond the front of the mat and relax down. Inhale to draw the hands all the way up to the sky again. To reach for the ceiling. And exhale, bring the hands to the chest. Draw in your belly. Really engage your abs. Inhale to take the hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend from the hips as we come all the way down again. Bend from the hips for Uttanasana. Take the hands to the shins for halfway lift. Place both hands down in front of the mat. Step the left foot all the way back. Let's drop the knee. Drop the left knee. Uncurl the back toes. We come into a low lunge. As you find ourselves to be nice and stable. If you need to put a towel underneath your knee, a bit of comfort, please do. Otherwise, start to lift your torso up. Lift the hands up towards the ceiling. Feel nice and tall through your torso. Your arms at either side of your ears. Stay for one more breath as you feel a nice stretch through your left hip flexor. And exhale. Just bring your hands down flat onto the mat. Curl your left foot back under. And step your right foot all the way back to join your left in your high plank. Just roll forwards and back for a couple of breaths in high plank. And on the next breath, just bend from the elbows as we come down to a low plank. Push up as we come into an upward facing dog. So bring your chest through your arms. And on the exhale, push into the mat. Curl the back toes under as you come back into your downward facing dog. You for just 2 more breaths. So inhale in for the nose. Exhale for the nose. Let's go for 1 more. Inhale. Really use your Ujjayi breath to help you flow. So exhale. On the next breath in, you're going to lift that left leg so it's parallel to the floor. And then draw it all the way through, step in the left foot. So it sits just inside of your left hand. Drop your right knee this time to the mat. Uncurl the back toes. You're now in low lunge. Once you're nice and stable, start to lift the torso up and lift the arms up to the ceiling. This time you're nice and tall, again through your torso, but you're bringing a nice stretch down your right hip flexor. So feel free to bend a little bit more into that front knee. And on the next breath, bring your hands down to the front of the mat. Curl the back toes under. And 1 big step. Take your right foot to meet your left at the front of the mat. So we're meeting forward fold. On the next breath in, hands to the shins to take halfway lift. Drawing your belly. Take your gaze to the front of the mat, just beyond. And on the exhale, release down. On the next breath in, bend from the knees and take your hands all up to the ceiling. And on the exhale, bring your hands to your chest. Say the other side. On the inhale, draw the hands up all the way to the sky. And on the exhale, bend again from the hips. Maybe a slight bend in the knees as you come all the way down to Uttanasana. Forward fold. Hands to the shins as you take a halfway lift. Lengthen out the arms. And on the exhale, come all the way down. Bring your hands to the front of the mat again. You're going to lift up the right leg. Step the right leg all the way back. Bring your knee down as we come into a low lunge. So uncurl those back toes on the right foot. The left side of the foot is nice and flat. Once you feel nice and stable, start to draw up through your upper body. Take your hands up towards the sky. Again, be nice and tall for your torso. And just find yourself coming to a nice stretch in the right hip flexor. Bring your hands down to the front of the mat. Curl your back toes under. And 1 big giant step. Take your left foot to join your right foot at the back of the mat in high plank. Again, it's always there for you. If you need to drop your knees at any point, then feel free to do that. Let's all do that actually. Let's all drop our knees. So you want to start to bend through the elbows, just come to a low plank. Push up into an upward facing dog. So you bring your chest through your arms. Take your gaze up to the front diagonal maybe. And curl the back toes under. Let's all come back into our downward facing dog. Again, here for just 2 breaths. A deep inhale in through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. On the next breath in, we're going to take the right foot, step the right foot all the way through towards the front of the mat. This time we're dropping that left knee. Uncurl the left toes. Once we're nice and stable, it starts to lift up through the body. We're here for just 1 breath. Deep inhale in. Exhale, bring the hands to the front of the mat. Curl your left toes under. This time you're going to jump that left foot all the way to the front to meet the right foot in our forward fold, our Uttanasana. We're nice and heavy. On the next breath, let's take our hands to our shins. Lengthen out through the arms as we come to our halfway lift. Roll the shoulders back. And on the exhale, let's come into a forward fold. On the next breath in, bend from the knees, take your hands all up to the ceiling. And bring your hands to your chest on the breath out. We're going to repeat that Just one more time on each side. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. You need to go a bit quicker or a bit slower. Again, just follow your breath. So together, inhale, take the hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend from the hips as we come all the way down. Inhale to halfway lift, hands to the shins. Roll the shoulders back, bring the hands down to the mat. Take a big step with that left foot. Bring your left knee down, uncurl the left toes. Start to lift up from the body as we come to our low lunge. Our hands up to the ceiling. On the breath out, let's bring our hands back down to the front of the mat. Curl the back toes under. Slip back with the right foot in a high plank. Again, feel free to drop the knees. Or together, let's all come down to our low plank. Push through the toes as we come into our upward facing dog. And the curl the toes under as we come into our downward facing dog. Just breathe in for one. And breathe out for the nose for one. On the next breath, let's lift the left leg so it's parallel with the mat. And then draw your knee all the way through. So your foot lands on the front of the mat. Drop your right knee down and curl your right toes. And start to lift up through the arms, through the body for one breath. And then exhale, bring the hands back down. Curl the back toes under. Step the right foot to join the left foot at the front of the mat in Uttanasana. Let's come into a halfway lift, hands to the shins. Exhale to release. Bend from the knees, just come all the way up to the ceiling. Draw in your abs, and on exhale, release a prayer to your chest. Let's take the other side. Inhale to take the hands all the way up to the ceiling. Really breathe on the fingers. Exhale, bring the prayer through the chest. Bend from the hips as we come all the way down. Inhale as we come into a halfway lift. Exhale to bring the hands to the mat. Let's take the right foot. This time, one big step with the right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Drop your right knee, uncurl your right toes. Let's start to lift up through the torso, through the arms. For one breath, for a nice stretch down the right hip flexor. Let's bring our hands to the front of the mat. One big step. We're going to take the left foot to join the right foot at the back of the mat in a high plank. Let's come together down to a low plank. Push through the toes as you come to your upward facing dog. Exhale as you push back and come into your downward facing dog. This time, let's lift up the right leg so it's parallel with the mat. And then exhale, draw the knee all the way through. And bring the right sole of the foot so it sits in the front of the mat. Drop your left knee, uncurl your left toes. Let's take the hands up all the way to the ceiling. Breathe through your hands, really stretch on the ceiling. And on the exhale, bring the hands down to the front of the mat, curl your back toes under. And one big step, bring your left foot to join your right foot at the front. On the inhale, take a halfway lift. On the exhale, release all the way to the mat. On the inhale, take the hands forward up to the ceiling. On the exhale, bring that prayer to our chest. Let's take our hands all the way up for one breath. Exhale, bend from the hips, just come all the way down. And take a vinyasa. So first take our hands to the shins for a halfway lift. On the exhale, take our hands to the front of the mat. Step the left foot back first. Let's step the right foot to join the left foot at the back of the mat. Just roll through the toes back and forth just to build up some strength in our core. On the next roll forward on the toes, let's come down to a low plank. Let's push up into our upward facing dog. And on exhale, let's push back to our downward facing dog. It's a nice way just to warm up the body. Again, at any point, feel free to come into child's pose. Take a sip of water if you need it. For just 2 more breaths. Just find yourself come back to your ujjayi in case you lost it. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, just to create a bit more length space in your back. If you do need to, bend at the knees a little bit and do go for that. I'm going to come into our warriors now. So on the next breath in, I'm going to lift that right leg so it's parallel with the mat. And then draw that leg all the way through. So the right foot comes and sits just inside of that right hand. Drop the left heel down. And it's all come up into our warrior one legs. So that left foot might be a bit slightly over to the right hand, to the left hand side. Your left foot's pointing out towards 10 o'clock, pointing nice and stable. Your back leg is straight. Your front leg has got a bend in that right knee. You're facing forward. Let's start to draw the hands all the way up to the ceiling. It's all come to warrior one. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, just come into warrior two. So take your right hand forward, your left hand back. Have a look at the left hand. Just make sure it's not flopping. You might want to walk in your right foot so it's a bit more center. So you feel like your legs are more on train tracks. You don't need to be as wide either side of the mat. On the next breath in, let's flip that right palm over. As you come into reverse warrior, start to lift that right hand up to the ceiling. Maybe take the left hand to that left hip. Really feel that nice stretch coming down that right hand side. And on the next breath, start to cartwheel the hands over. Start to walk that right foot in. So shorten the stance a little bit and lengthen out. Straighten out that right leg. So now we'll get back to come to triangle pose. So take warrior two, arms again. Both legs are now straight. Really try and lean forward as far as you can. With that right arm, when you can't go any further, just start to seesaw yourself down. Bring that right hand so it sits just inside of your right foot. Your left hand is up towards the ceiling. Maybe take your gaze up to the left hand or your right foot. There's a call coming through from my brother, which means he's not tuning in to Akwaaba yoga. Arnold, I'll get you later. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the nose. From here, let's come back up into warrior two, arms. Going to bend back into that right knee. So now in warrior two, I'm going to just elevate and jump forward. So we're balancing on that right leg as we come into half moon. If you've got a block handy, we want your block to be, actually just take your block into your right hand, or if you've got a book, come back into warrior two, arms. I'm going to just bring ourselves forward. So we're balancing on that right foot. You want to place your block or your book. If you're able to balance without, then go for it. You want that block or your book about a foot in front of your right foot. Open up your body towards the left-hand side of the room and see how high you can just elevate that left leg. So that left leg is nice and straight as much as you can. If it's a bit low, then that's all good. But just start to work your way up so your left leg is parallel with the floor. Once you feel nice and stable, start to just draw that left hand up towards the sky. So almost in the shape of a T on its side. Really engage your core here, engage your quads. Turn on your right quad, and that will just help create a bit of stability for your right leg. On the next breath, it's all come back into warrior two. So drop that left foot back down to the mat. Come back into warrior two, arms. Again, take a reverse warrior. The right hand comes up. And then cut all the hands over. As you bring your hands to the front of the mat, step the right foot back. And let's all join again into our high plank. From high, let's come into low plank. We're going through a vinyasa. I'm going to push up into our upward facing dog. And then curl the back toe, curl the toes under. as we come into our down facing dog. Just keep that breath going. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Maintain the Ujjayi breath. This time we're going to take the left hand side, so lift that left leg. So your left leg is parallel to the mat. I'm going to draw that left knee all the way through, bringing the left sole of the foot so it sits just inside that left hand. Drop the heel of the right foot. So your right foot's now pointing out towards 2 o'clock. Once it's nice and stable, start to lift up through your torso as you come into warrior one. So you've got to bend through your left knee, start to draw your left hands, your left arms up towards the ceiling. Engage through your abs. Try and be nice and tall through your torso. And try and maintain a front facing position from the hips. Really engage your right quad and feel comfortable in bending through your left knee. On the next breath in, let's take that right hand back and that left hand forward as we come to warrior two arms or the warrior two pose. Maybe again, just walk that left foot into the center of the mat a little bit so you're more on, again, your train tracks. Have a look at that right hand. Just see if it's flopping down. If it is, just draw it back up. On your next breath, flip that left palm over this time. And I start to seesaw that left palm over as you come to reverse warrior. Again, I'm going to take my right hand. Maybe as well, just put your right hand on your right hip as you start to create space down that left side of your body. Maybe one more breath. And on the breath out, let's start to come back into warrior two arms. You're going to straighten out through your left leg. So now both legs are nice and straight. Again, maybe shorten the stance a little bit. So your left leg is straight, your right leg is straight. And warrior two arms, start to lean forward as much as you can for that left hand. Once you can't go any further, start to just seesaw that hand down. Place your left hand just inside of your left shin and take your right hand up towards the sky as you shun yourself out towards the right hand side. You might start to find you're bringing a stretch to your left hamstring. If you've got any dodgy knees, really consciously just engage your quads. So draw up your quads here, just to bring protection to your knees. Take your gaze up towards your right hand, or maybe keep your gaze towards the floor. On the next breath in, let's come back up into warrior two. So bend again through the left knee. Your warrior two arms. You're nice and stable. If you've got a block handy again, maybe just take that block and place it or carry it in your left hand this time. And when you're ready, we're going to just spring up from that right foot to bring balance to our left foot. So on the count of three, I'm going to just spring up. 1, 2, 3. And you're balancing. Really embrace the whole spatial area of your left side of the foot. Engage through your quad muscles, which will just bring a degree of strength to your left leg. So engage through your quads. Really use that block or that book just to give you confidence. Start to open up the hands, the right hand to the sky, and your body towards the right hand side. And see if you can take your right leg up so it's parallel with the floor. You're drawing in your toes towards your body. If you fall out, just try and come back in. On the next breath, we're going to just come back into warrior two. So let yourself fall back down. Bring your arms back up so you're now in warrior two. On the inhale, going to go for one more reverse. Take the left arm up to the ceiling and then cartwheel both hands down. as you come into a high plank. So take your left foot, join your right foot at the back of the mat, roll forwards onto the toes. On the next roll forward, again, we're going to bend through the elbows as we come to low plank. Let's push up into our upward facing dog. And together, we'll push down to our down facing dog. We're here for 5 breaths. So feel free to take a child's pose or maybe take a sip of water. Here for just 3 more breaths. Maybe on child's pose, you're just going to feel into your hips by rocking from side to side. If you're taking a water break or you're in a child's pose, let's start to come up. Let's all meet together in our downward facing dog. Let's all together just take a deep inhale in. Exhale out through the nose. Take one more. Inhale in. Draw in your belly. So release the air through the nose. So come back into a Ujjayi breathing. On the next breath in, let's all just walk to the front of the mat and come into a ragdoll. So your arms are heavy, your head is heavy. Then maybe just shake the head from left to right. Now let's take our feet, so our feet are hip distance apart. Your toes are pointing forward. Just try and feel nice and grounded. Your toes on the floor. Just lift your toes up off the mat. Just engage your feet, your toes here. So your heels down, but your toes are up. And then just relax your toes back towards the mat. We're now going to come into chair pose. So that's a real good stretch, engagement of our quads. So we're going to start to bend through the knees. Start to bring our bums down, and in doing so, let's start to just seesaw the arms up, engage for your abs. Let's come into our chair pose. So again, you don't have to necessarily come at a total right angle, but just bend through the knees and just feel your quads switch on. If it helps to bring your stance, your feet a bit close towards each other, then please do so. Particularly if you've got any knee pain. We've got just 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. And 1 more. And release into Uttanasana. So bend from the hips as we come and down to our forward fold. On the next breath in, and take the hands forward up to the ceiling and bring our hands to our chest. Let's turn around so you can see me. We're now going to come into tree pose. So we're balancing on our left foot to start. So from nice and grounded for your left foot, we're going to take our right foot either to our left calf. If it's there for you, take it into your left thigh. Just avoid your knee. Avoid pressing your right foot into your knee and bring any pressure there. I think I'll start by taking my right foot to my left calf. So again, feel nice and grounded and stable for your left foot. Start to lift your right leg up, Start to bend your knee and your foot over to the side. And just place the sole of your right foot inside of your left calf, and take your hands to your chest for tree pose. So try and feel nice and strong through your upper body. Engage through your abs and take your prey to your chest. Again, if it's there for you, just level up. Take your right foot, the right sole of the foot so it sits inside your left thigh. Again, embracing your wobbles. Bring your hands to your chest. Again, you want to level up, maybe open up through the arms. So each arm is going to the opposite diagonal. Again, you want to level up, maybe now just close the eyes and see how that affects your balance. So you might really start to wobble out of this one, the eyes closed. It just goes to show how much we rely on our senses. I've fallen out. Let's come back to the front of the mat. Take our arms up to the ceiling. On the inhale, on the exhale, bend from the hips. Take a halfway lift, hands to the shins. Exhale to release down. Again, we're going to come back into child's pose. We're going to bend into the knees, bring our bums down towards the mat, start to take our arms up towards right diagonal. And hold it here for, again, just 5 breaths. Really engage through your front toes. See again if you can lift your toes up off the mat. Just draw in through your abs so you can go any further down with the bum. So inhale, take your arms a bit higher, and exhale to release a bit further into the hips. Let's go for one more. Inhale, exhale. Really feel your quads are burning. And on the exhale, release down to your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Again, I'm going to turn around so you can see me. This time I'm going to take tree pose on the opposite side. Start to lift all the way up through the body. Draw your arms up to the ceiling. Bring your hands to your chest. So now, you're going to bring weight into the right sole of the foot. Lift up for your left knee, your left leg, and start to, again, either take the left sole of the foot so it sits on your right calf, on the inside of your right calf. And start there, and bring your hands to your chest. Just again, embracing any wobbles that might come. If it's there for you to level up, just take that left sole of the foot and place it inside your right thigh. You can bring your hands to your chest. Nice and tall and proud. Again, if you want to level up, just take your arms up to the opposite diagonal. For one more, so maybe close the eyes. If you fall out, feel free to come back in. You want to take your left foot to your right shin this time, your right calf. When you're ready, just drop your left foot so it's going to hip distance apart. So you're nice and you're standing in Tadasana, your mountain pose, you're nice and tall. Both arms, both hands are facing forward. Just close the eyes for one breath. Just feel centered and grounded. Just blink open the eyes. From here, again, we're now going to bring our weight into our left foot and slowly start to lift that right foot up, bend for the knees. It's going to bring our knees to our chest. So using our hands, just take an interlace just in front of that right knee. Again, embrace any shakes or wobbles. See if you can really just tucking your knee to your chest. So as I said before, engage through your left quad. If you engage through your left quad, it's like having an oak tree that's supporting you, nice and strong for your left leg. And stay for just 2 more breaths. On the next breath in, we're going to keep our left hand on our right knee. We're going to start to open up our right hand just behind us. So you're just balancing through. You balance on that left foot, and start to take your gaze, turn your your body over to the right hand side and take your gaze over towards the right hand side. And see how you get on balance here. Your knee is nice and high. And on the next breath, start to bring that right hand back and slowly drop your right foot to the mat. Shake out through the left foot and the right foot. Just take the opposite side. So we're going to take our right foot, feel nice and grounded for that sole of the right foot. Slowly start to lift that left knee up and take an interlace just in front of your left knee. So again, if you're wobbling, just try and think of the span of your foot on the mat and how strong that is. Engage through your right quad. As you do, just find that and start to lengthen that through your leg. It sits you nice and tall. And when you're ready, on the next breath, release the left hand. You hold on to the outside of that right knee. Taking that left hand, whoops, maybe it's behind you. And slowly start to twist from your lower belly. Keeping your chest, your chin over your chest. And take your gaze over towards the left hand side. You can go a bit further, maybe take your gaze over towards the back hand. I'm about to go. And if you fall out, feel free to come back in. If you just want to level up, if you're still holding that pose, hold it. Don't let go. Really work your right leg here. If you want to level up, you want to take the outside of your left foot instead of the outside of your left knee. And you want to straighten out through that left leg. And again, just looking over towards the left-hand side of the room. Draw your knee back in. Let's all come. Drop that left leg down. It works the body there. Let's come to the front of the mat. Take our hands and draw them all out to the ceiling. And then bend through your hip as you come into your forward fold, your Uttanasana. Let's take a halfway lift, so hands to the shins. And on exhale, release down. On the exhale in, let's all come up into a standing position. So, if you've got your belt handy, you want to pick up now. If you don't have a belt, you want to use a towel, that's just as good. You don't need either of these, but it does help you get into the pose a bit easier. So we're going to come into dancer's pose. So this is our final balancing posture. We'll start on the left-hand side. So if you've got your belt or your towel, just wrap it around the underside of your left foot. So wrap it actually around the front of your right foot. So wrap it around the front of your right foot. You can stand on the sole of your left foot. That's going to be your balancing foot to start with. Start to lift up. So start to bend your right knee and take the heel of your right foot towards your bum. And just take opposite sides of your belt. If it's easier, you might want to just wrap that belt so it sits just in front of that right ankle. You start to draw your hands up towards the ceiling. So you're holding onto opposite sides of the belt. Maybe bend slightly through that left knee. And see if you can raise your right knee that much more higher. As you come into your dancer's pose, again, I'm going to engage from my quad, just to straighten out my left leg. If you haven't got a belt, and you're just using our hands, then take your right hand. Again, bend that right foot, the right heel up towards the bum as much as you can, and then just grab onto the inside of your right foot. So you don't need the belt if you don't have it. Grab onto the inside of that right foot. Take a left hand up to the ceiling. Feel nice and strong for your left foot. And you start to seesaw yourself down. And just go to your edge. You might be able to get just a little bit of elevation for your right knee. You can go a bit further, just push that right foot to that right hand. You start to see that right knee lifting a bit further. And then bring yourself back to center and come down. We'll take the other side. So again, if you've got your rope, first come into a nice Tadasana, you're nice and tall. Bend up through your left knee, so taking your left heel towards your left bum. Either use your rope to wrap around the underside of your left ankle. If you've got no rope, no towel, just take your left hand and just catch the inside of your left foot. As you go up, try not to spray your knee to the left hand side. Try and keep it so it's all nicely tucked into all center. And again, just try and maintain the integrity of the pose. So don't overdo it. Just try and go for height. Just go as far as your body will go for today. And one breath, take the right hand up to the ceiling. And we slowly start to seesaw ourselves down. And just go to your edge. If you feel a bit more comfortable, push your left foot into your left hand and see if you can find yourself creating a bit more room to get a bit further up. And on the next breath, let's come and meet at the front of the mat. So we introduced a few balancing postures just there. We're going to come and start to slow the heartbeat down. On the inhale, draw the arms up to the ceiling. On the exhale, bring the hands through the chest as we come all the way down, bend from the hips into Uttanasana. Let's take a halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, just come all the way down. Before we start to wrap up, we're going to maintain our Malasana August challenge. So I hope you've been getting in your 15 seconds, your 1 minute, your 2 minutes each day. We're just over halfway through the month now, so hopefully you should be up to at least 5 minutes. But if you need to use a towel underneath your heels, then just roll the towel up and place your heels onto the towel and sit down. It might be easier if you just place a block underneath your heels, like so. I'm just going to start to bend into our knees into Malasana. Take our hands into prayer. Try to bring your elbows inside, so sit inside of your knees. Sit nice and tall for your torso. So again, if you need to use your block, use the block. Just do whatever's comfortable that helps you just get into the pose. If you can, come into Malasana without the block, then feel free to do so. We're going to be here for 20 seconds. So try not to think about the tension you might feel coming through your hips here. Just focus on your Ujjayi breath. So your inhale and your exhale for your nose. Your hands are in prayer. Just 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just roll forward. See if you can come to a quick, cheeky crow. Maybe you can lift one foot up now and bring it down. And just try the other side. Lift the left foot up and bring it down. I'll just turn around so you can see. So my arms are inside of my knees. I'm going to try and lift the left foot only up. So I'm balanced on my hands and my right foot is still down on my tiptoes. I'm going to try the other side. So I'm going to lean forward as much as I can. My hands on my brakes. I'm going to lift my right foot up and bring it down. Where I feel a bit more stable, if you might feel a bit more comfortable, just roll forward and so you can lift both toes up off the mat, and a step back into high plank. This will meet in high plank. Just bend for the elbows as you come to low plank. Push up into upward facing dog. Press down into a downward facing dog. On the next breath in, let's jump or step to the front of the mat. Let's come into a seated position. So just bend through the knees, come and sit on the bum. And take one stretch just into our hamstrings. So sit nice and tall. Your legs are nice and straight in front of you. Your toes are curled in towards your face. Again, if you've got a towel and you can't quite reach your toes, use your towel to wrap around the outside of the backside of the soles of your feet. Inhale to lengthen up. Exhale, start to take your chest towards your feet. Give it that sort of energetic feel. So it just stops you from dropping your head and curling out through the back. If you can reach your feet, just take your hands to the outside of the soles of your feet. Inhale to draw up. Exhale. Again, you just draw on your chest as much as possible towards your shins. Hopefully you're feeling a bit of a stretch through your calf muscles here and also your hamstrings. Here for just 2 more breaths. So really just embrace this stretch. Again, it's really good for runners, for cyclists. If you're at work all day sitting down. On next breath in, let's release. I'm going to bend up through that right knee and just take that right foot up and over that left leg. So left leg is still straight ahead of you. Your right sole of the foot is now on the other side, on the outside of your left leg. Lift up through that left arm and use the inside of your elbow just to wrap around your knee as much as you can. Draw your knee in towards the chest. Take your right hand behind your body and just give yourself a nice twist over towards the right hand side. Then you're twisting from your lower abs through the body, your chin's over your chest. You're nice and tall through your torso. And release. Release that right leg back out in front of you. Shake out the legs. Now we're going to take the other side. So this time I'm going to bend up through the left knee and lift that left sole of the foot up and over that right leg. So the left sole of the foot is now sitting on the outside of that right leg. This time I'm going to lift up through that right arm and use the inside of the elbow just to catch your left knee. Just use that resistance to sit nice and tall through the torso. Take that left hand behind you this time. On the inhale, I'm going to draw up. On the exhale, I'm going to just twist over towards the left hand side. Again, you're twisting from the lower abs. And release. Again, shake out the legs. Slowly start to roll down through your lower back, your middle back, and your upper back. Just come flat onto your mat. Bend up through the knees. See if you can just scrape the outside of the back of your heels as we prepare for supported bridge or bridge. Now again, if you've got a block handy, it's good to have that block and just place it underneath your lower sacrum, your lower back. That's the hard bit that sits just above your bum, the soft tissue of your bum. And you're going to come into a supported bridge. So on a breath in, I'm going to start to push into the mat with my feet. Lift up through the lower back and place that block so it sits and supports just underneath the sacrum. If you haven't got a book, again, feel free to use a very thick book. Say book. If you haven't got a block, use a book. If you haven't got either, then just come to the full expression of the pose, which is a bridge. See for just 3 more breaths. You can feel as if someone's putting you up from the hips. Engage your glutes here. Just feel into your bum, your glutes. Feel nicely engaged. Again, that just helps to protect your lower back. And on the next breath, it starts to come down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Let's take our feet together and our hips apart. We're now in Baddha Konasana legs. So it's feet together, knees apart. Just using your hands, take your hands just onto the inside of your onto the top part of your thighs, I should say. So you're catching your thighs, just using the groove in between your index finger and your thumb. And once you're here, start to lengthen out the arms as you push into your thighs. So there's not much movement you're giving here. What you're doing is just creating a bit more space and length through your lower back. And relax. We'll take one very quick round of abs before we wrap up. We all just start to lift our legs all the way up to the ceiling. So our legs are pointing and we're supporting the ceiling by the underside of our feet. So that means our feet are curled in towards our toes are curled in towards our face. Ladies, if it's that time and it's not appropriate to have your legs so high up, then feel free just to bend through the knees. Just lift the feet so your feet are just hovering above the floor. Either pose that you've got, just take the hands behind the head and then just start to pulse up and crunch up through the belly. And I'll count it up with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. 10. Keep going. 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, and hold. Hold it there. Hold it there. Keep holding. If your legs are flopping, just try and lengthen them out. Curl your toes in towards your face. And let's go back. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Keep going. Keep crunching. 15, 14, 13. Let's stop. Only a few more to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold it at the top. Really lift your shoulder blades off the mat and release. Bring your legs down. Lengthen out through your legs. And to prepare for Shavasana. So relax your arms out either side of you. Close your eyes and roll your head from left to right as you massage the back of your skull. Together, let's all squeeze in. So engage every muscle through your body. Squeeze, 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 and relax. Feel that tension just releasing and flowing out through your body. Let go of your Ujjayi breath and come back into your natural breathing. Take one big inhale in together. And release everything out through the mouth. Any tension, frustration, anxiety, worry, annoyance, jealousy, greed, just let it all out. And just reward yourself for turning up today for the past 60 minutes. But just come to stillness in the mind. just for a couple of minutes as we come into Shavasana. So close your eyes and relax. Start to come to your hands and your feet, explore movements to use extremities. Roll your head from left to right. Start to draw your knees up to your chest. Give it one final squeeze. Keeping your eyes closed. Just rock over to one side as you come to the fetal position. Let's push up as we come to a seated position. Come to your knees or just come sit on your bum. Going to sit on the block. As you come to finish, okay, just keep your eyes closed and again, just thank yourselves for turning up today, for moving through your body, for creating space, and just take this into the coming week, just embracing the any shakes and any wobbles that you experienced, any frustrations. So we'll bring our prayer to our forehead. Thank you for your time and your energy. Have a great week. Complete, all done for another Sunday. I want to thank D-Man, 52 weeks later, for that suggestion. A balancing class. It's a bit more staggered. It wasn't. It's not much more. It's not too much of a flow when you're doing balancing postures. So it creates a bit more patience. Needs a bit more patience. But I hope everyone enjoyed. So yeah, that's me done for another Sunday on Akwaaba Yoga. As always, feel free to subscribe to Akwaaba Yoga here on YouTube. If you like the class, hit the like button as well. That does something for the algorithms, apparently. Spread the word, and again, let me know if you've got any suggestions for any future classes. Next week, I'm away, so that's the 23rd. There isn't a class next week, but feel free to go onto Akwaaba Yoga, I think it's .com, and all the classes from the previous weeks are going to be showing. So feel free to jump in and have another go at one of the previous classes. But yeah, I'll be back the week after. So yeah, no class on the 23rd, but I end up back the week after. But yeah, if you've got any comments, hit the comment button. Let us know. Let's stop chatting. And I put more tunes on from the Sunburst Band just to see us out on this Sunday. Have a wonderful day. I'll try and jump on a laptop and answer any questions you might have. But no, thanks again for your support and take care. Until the end of